Have you ever felt like people don't listen to you while you speak? Over the years, I've been part of many discussions where it felt like I was talking to a wall. I'm sure you've experienced that as well. There are a few reasons why this happens. One of them is the lack of listening on someone's part. People usually listen with the intent to reply and not to understand. On the other hand, it's also possible that people are not listening to you because you might be the problem. I have been guilty of it too, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. It just isn't possible to be 100% all the time and to tailor our speeches and arguments according to the audience and topic at hand. Listening effectively is as important a skill as speaking. In fact, they are interdependent. You cannot separate one from the other. There are several communication mistakes you can make while speaking that can turn off your audience's ears and brains. Today, I'll tell you what those mistakes are and how you can remedy them. Number one on the list has to be that you are probably rambling and lack direction. Getting carried away is very common while speaking, and that is a mistake people often make. It's like chasing a rabbit trail where you lack proper flow and direction. You might deviate from the topic at hand or even go into several directions at once, making it difficult for the listeners to follow. This lack of a clear direction can make the listener disinterested in what you have to say. I mean, would you be interested in listening to someone who just goes round and round in circles without actually getting to the point? But don't worry, this isn't difficult to fix. The best way to make sure your speech has a track is to prepare beforehand. Figure out your purpose and how you want to attain it, so that you don't lose the listener midway. The simplest thing you can do is take the introduction, arguments, and conclusion approach to make sure that you cover all major points instead of just bouncing around. The second reason why people are not listening to you could be that you aren't sure of what you're saying. That is, you yourself lack clarity. It's hard to have others listen to you when you aren't clear about your thoughts, and it's even harder when you can't communicate those thoughts in a simple, structured, and concise manner for others to follow. To make sure you don't do this, just get into the habit of making notes. This will help you evaluate your arguments and understand them better. You must also try to use simple language instead of buffing up your arguments with jargon and complexities. The third reason that can make you invisible to your audience or colleagues is when you lack confidence. Nowadays, information is available to us at the tip of our fingers, so it's not difficult to know when someone isn't sure of what they are speaking. Confidence is an essential public speaking and communication skill that can make or break your argument and speeches. If the listener feels that you lack confidence in your words, then it's a given that they too won't have confidence in your words. Imagine you're listening to someone speak about artificial intelligence, but they constantly repeat themselves, pause, or contradict their statements. Do you think you'll listen to them after a while? You can actually fix this by speaking about what you know well and not going beyond your expertise. It's better to speak less with conviction than to speak more without confidence. Let's go to the fourth reason. You are probably speaking only from your point of view without taking others into consideration. Effective communication is only possible if all parties involved feel involved. Hence, when you only speak for yourself, it can lead to fading interest and attention. Your communication needs to factor how it'll affect or impact others and how your audience or colleagues are involved. For example, if you're discussing a possible marketing proposal with your team, you need to talk about everyone's roles and ask for everyone's inputs rather than just your own. This can be remedied by making your discussions interactive and not authoritative. It's important to engage others in your speech or argument and take their feedback. Make it a point to be empathetic while speaking. It'll help people connect with you and listen to you attentively. Try including what your audience said in your responses and make sure you clarify things you don't understand. A simple, "Yes, I see your point about X," or "I don't know much about Y, so can you explain that to me?" Those can really go a long way. Let's go to the fifth reason. It's possible that your body language and words don't match. Body language includes your posture, your facial expressions, and your hand gestures. These can hugely impact whether someone listens to you or not. On one hand, if used properly, it can add strength to your verbal message. On the other hand, if you have a stiff posture and are expressionless, it can make the listener disinterested and possibly bored. I'm sure you don't want that. In fact, studies show that your words only convey about 7% of what you're trying to say. The other 93% is communicated through body language and the tone of your voice. To make sure your body language and words don't go in different directions, you need to make sure that you are interested in what you're speaking about. It's also a good idea to maintain proper posture and gestures with hands to add visuals to your speech. I'll be making a video on various postures and gestures very soon, so hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon to get notified about it when that arrives. Finally, being open-minded is a valuable part of good communication, and people tend to forget that. So one reason why someone isn't listening to you can be because you are not open to others' ideas, are interruptive, and aren't a great listener yourself. Unlearning and changing ingrained ideas and opinions can be a cumbersome task, but it's important nonetheless. Humans are evolutionary organisms, and it's imperative that we evolve our thought process with new input and information. You'll eventually lose the attention of a person whose views aren't taken into consideration. If you show a lack of interest or interrupt the other person, you'll get the same in return. You may be eager to put your point forward, but interrupting the other person isn't the right way to go. People like getting attention, just like you would. Hence, you need to give it to them first. You can improve your patience level by making sure that you let the other person finish their point before you even start yours. Even if you disagree with their ideas, you should know that you still cherish them. So, hear them out, in the least, and then you can express yourself in response. A quick and easy way to make sure you ease up tensions around disagreements is to say, "I understand your views on X. I think about it a little differently. Would you be open to hearing an alternative viewpoint?" This will make sure that you don't sound dismissive, and it puts the person in front of you in a more receptive position, making it easier for you to convince them. In conclusion, we just talked about 6 mistakes that can turn off your audience's ears and brains, as well as how you can mitigate them. If you like the video, then give us a like, a share, and subscribe. Click on the bell icon to get notified when we release new content.